They changed the whole website.
We live, baby. We live. And we already got problems. We always late out in this bitch, yo.
Yo, we always late, yo.
That's how we roll.
That's how we roll, bro.
I mean, let's face it. You guys really want us to be here early so you guys don't watch. Come on, let's just be real. Come on.
Yeah. You don't want us to be early.
Come on, I'm Dominican. Have you gone to a Dominican cookout when they say it starts at 4 and it starts like at 7 in the evening?
Oh, believe me, I have experience with that.
We don't know what time is.
Yes, Hispanic perception of time is looped. You know, if they say the thing starts at 6, what they mean is get ready at 6, leave at 7, and then get there.
Decide if you're gonna go or not at 6.
Call
a
at
suggestion, 6. Guys. It's a suggestion to time. It's
call the host at 6 and be like, "Yo, what are you wearing?"
Yo, facts. Like, yo, is this thing still happening? What's going on?
Oh shit! Happy Friday! Happy Friday! It's another day, another dollar here in the man cave. We talking once again about landlord shit. Now, I mean, real estate. It's crazy out in these streets. You know, like the NAR just passed the fucking laws on what sellers, buyers can't get their commission right off the. Ooh, that shit hurts.
You can't put in the contract. Yeah.
Contract. Oh my god.
So you know what, bro? What? I was seeing this article, right? They said 70% of these real estate agents that focus on buyers agent side,
yeah,
they just stop. They quit.
They have to. Yeah, because a lot of them don't do shit. You know.
Bro, you know how hard it is to get a listing? To be a listing agent, to get a listing. The only time I've been listing agents because I own the property that I'm selling.
Right. I bought 3 houses without any agents involved, and I'm telling you, it's an incredible benefit when and it's not that complicated to buy a house, guys. And you know what? If you can approach the owner and be like, "Look, let's cut out the middleman, these agents. I save you 6%. You know, let's make a little quick of a deal instead of paying 24,000 to some agents. Cut me some slack. You know, like give me an extra 4,000, and I take care of business, and you save 20,000 right off the bat." Now, of course, not everybody's gonna know how to close on a house. You know, you gotta keep in contact with the lawyer and the fucking lender, and you gotta do paperwork. But it's really not that complicated.
It's not even that, dude. I've for like properties because I'm licensed in Massachusetts as a real estate agent, and for properties that I've owned and sold in Massachusetts, I've used other agents to sell my property.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though I'm losing that commission, why? Like we have this one guy that me and Carlos knows. He moves the property quick. It doesn't even show up on MLS.
No.
He has so many investors that under his bucket.
Let me clarify something here. We're not bashing agents. I'm not saying that we're gonna bash agents. You know, agents are very helpful. But going through the process a couple of times already, yeah, you can probably do it without the agents. Again, I've worked with some agents that are amazing. They've gotten me some good deals, especially if you're working with a dual agent where the agent kind of finds you, the buyer already. You don't even have to put it on MLS. That's all great. But as a seller, I gotta be honest with you, man. I can probably sell it without an agent. Just like you can probably buy without an agent, as long as you have the contact list, which is what you need. You need a lawyer. You need an attorney. You need a lender, and all those ducks in a row, which for the most part, let's face it, your attorney takes care of most of that stuff. The agent is pretty much there to kind of keep tabs if they're doing their job, but you can do that without, again, when you're first buying your first property or your second property, I do recommend an agent, but now going through the process so many times, I think I don't need one. I think I'll be okay.
I think in selling a property now with high interest, if you have an agent that knows this stuff, that has his emailing list of investors that he knows, you're better off using an agent because buyers are very hard right now.
Yeah.
But if you're buying, if you're actually the one buying, I think in the beginning of your career, it's good to have an agent that's knowledgeable that can walk you through, especially if you buy rental properties. But once you have a few properties under your bag, you can go on Zillow and go see the property yourself.
Yeah. I do recommend if you are out of state and you are buying somewhere that's out of state, get an agent involved. That way they can kind of, manage it that way and have open houses and things like that. And you're not physically there to do that. But if you're in the same state and you can drive 30, 40 minutes, man, I would just say
drive to 30, 40 minutes.
You can do that. You can do that by yourself. Again, not bashing agents by any means. Agents have helped us out tremendously on both purchasing and selling the house. But from personal experience, after a few deals, it's not rocket science.
And I'm an agent. I'm licensed agent in Mass.
Well, you know what? You know who we gonna bash though? You know who we gonna bash? Fucking squatters, bro.
No, facts.
No, wait. Before the squatters.
Oh, here we go. This guy wants to drag it on
before the squatters.
Every week, bro. No. Every week.
Bro, the fucking Fed did not bring the rates down. That's all I'm saying. They didn't bring it down. I think they didn't bring it up. They could have gone up.
Yeah, left it. Honestly, I don't even want them to go down anyways right now. No, they can stay up for the time being. So we're okay with that.
No.
Jesus Christ. Blasphemy.
Nah, man. You know what? When I'm ready to buy again, I need the rates to be lower. I don't want to go low now. Miss out on that opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, it's helpful for some people, and it sucks for others. Yes. But yeah,
squatters, bro. These squatters.
So you guys heard about the Californian passed a law, or was it Florida?
It was. First of all, don't you ever confuse California with Florida.
We just passed a law.
Calm down, Carlos. Hold on. I gotta make sure he understands what I'm talking about here. Don't you ever in your life compare California to Florida. We all know it wasn't California that passed that law. It was Florida.
We have Florida man here.
It was.
You are riding Florida's peninsula like a fucking dildo, like as if you were born, nigga. You were born in DR, and then you came to Boston for like 30 years. All right, so calm down.
Listen, DR is closer from Florida, so it helps.
You were here for 30 years, bro, and now you're on this bandwagon ride in the peninsula.
And I'm not getting off.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not getting off. Listen. I am
all day, Brian.
I am all for a state that has the landlord and the tenant's best interests at heart. When you have a state like California or Massachusetts or New York that only looks out for the tenant, I'm not for that. I'm not for that.
Carlos, wait. So that law, Jose, passed in Florida.
Yeah.
So the law pretty much says that you have a squatter. It kicks in July 1st of 2024. Okay. You call the cops and they'll remove the people who are trespassing.
Right.
To play devil's advocate, Carlos may not be happy I said this.
Oh, here we go.
What stops the landlord that's evicting let's say they're going to start eviction of a non-paid tenant that doesn't have a lease, that the tenants at one says, hey, bro, these are squatters.
Uh-huh.
Where are you getting at with this, bro?
So again, as you have a tenant at will, does not have a contract. They don't have a written contract. A landlord can say, "Oh, bro, this is a squatter."
The tenant at will, the contract, basically the same contract that you have in place stays when it's month to month. So once that expires,
you can put a month to month while even having a lease from the beginning.
Yeah, of course. But what do you think a month to month is? It's a lease.
Yeah, but it's not in writing.
Oh, of course it is. What do you mean?
You can have a month to month
is in writing.
What are you talking about? What are you wait? Oh. What? What are you talking about? All of my leases that are month to month are all in writing, bro.
Because you did month to month leases.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's still a lease. I'm saying, how about you have a tenant that does not have a lease at all?
Why would you have a tenant without a lease?
That's what I'm saying.
He's like, wait a minute. You guys do all leases?
What the hell?
I do leases, but I bought property.
Sound like it.
I can't tell.
Really?
Oh my God!
I bought property. I bought property that tenant.
He's like, come on down.
Okay, Carlos talking shit, right? But that 18-unit building we bought when we took over, they were all tenant at will, and we had no paperwork.
Yeah, but we inherited that.
That's what I'm trying to say. You can run.
But the way you're making it sound, listen, if you're gonna say that, you have to make sure that you specify the details. Because the way you're making it sound is like it's your property, and you're just out here giving out apartments, bro.
No, bro. You didn't hear the initial question was, if you don't have a written contract with this person,
Yeah.
Yes.
And this new squatting law. And you want to get them on, you say these people are squatting and they don't have no right in saying, hey, they have tenancy.
Keep going.
I don't know, bro.
Do you see that popping? Come on, do you see that popping up right now?
I see where you're going with this. Not even gonna lie, man.
Do you see people calling the police department saying they have a squatters even though they were tenants at one point?
Well, no. So now they will. Yes. Once that goes into effect, now they will.
That's what I'm talking about by the law. I don't talk about before.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because before you need to do eviction, even if it was a squatter. I'm saying right after this law passes, you call the police department, say you have a squatter, and that ends up being a tenant that's a tenant at will that has not no.
So that's a good question. In my interpretation,
how is that going to be handled?
The way that it should work, and again, this is going to take effect in July, so we don't really know. But the way that it should work is if my lease with you ends in July, you should be out by July. And if you're not out by July at that point, now you're a squatter. That's how I think it should work.
But no, because technically on leases, when the lease expires, if you don't have a new lease that pops out, they become tenant at will.
But if the tenant,
most leases have that. Most leases have that in the writing.
Okay, but again, this is a rule that specifically takes out squatters. If you are no longer under my lease because the lease has expired, you are now a squatter. That's how I want to make sure how it goes because I'm not really sure. And I don't think
it sounds like y'all didn't even read the fucking law.
No, because that's the first time that's gonna happen.
Right.
That's gonna happen. So yeah, I get it. If somebody breaks into your house and they squat, I get that. But Carlos brings up a good point. What if you have a tenant already that has a lease that's gonna expire? Now, do they either become a tenant at will or do they become a squatter?
Right. So what you're trying to say is that they've introduced a new bill, but we haven't seen all the sorts of scenarios that could be affected by this bill.
And unfortunately, these are the type of things that need to happen first in order for either to be, put into writing or we just don't know.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. Because what ends up happening is, and I agree with this, anywhere else they have this thing called squatter rights, which is crazy to me. Squatters shouldn't have any rights, but the fact that they do is very scary. So this bill gets rid of that. There's no more squatter rights. So
yeah, I actually I pulled up this very interesting look. I don't watch the news too much, but when I see something like on YouTube, because I'm looking at all types of stuff on YouTube, and they'll push certain small stories out. And I came across this one story, and I was like, dude, this is crazy. So let's take a look at it real quick. I just thought it was pretty interesting. Let's see.
Squatters destroying property and moving into empty homes, refusing to leave. It's a growing problem in Southern California. Now there's a possible solution, a way to squash the squatters. He calls himself the squatter hunter, and for a price, he can get rid of the unwanted guests.
Chris Wolf is live in the Hollywood Hills with a look at how he does it. Chris.
Yeah, Micah and Sam, it's an incredible story. He has dedicated his life to helping homeowners clear their properties of squatters, and he's fighting to change the laws that allow these intruders to do what they do. He recently removed a squatter from a home here in the Hollywood Hills.
That's
the victim,
crazy.
An elderly woman. So meet the squatter hunter.
What do you have to say for yourself? You gonna talk to me now?
Oh, she's trying to trying to break in.
Conversation?
Yeah.
At 9 o'clock in the night? Are you serious?
Caught in the act, caught on camera, squeezing out squatters.
I have a lease for this property.
I don't give a fuck.
You've heard and seen the horror stories, many here on KTLA.
That shit
Intruders
wild.
gaining entry or breaking into unoccupied homes and residences, in some cases mansions, throwing wild parties and living rent and carefree. The number of cases seems to be.
Isn't that crazy that even the millionaires can't get the squatters out there fucking out? This is crazy, bro.
Growing, and one man close to the situation says many offenders are not necessarily homeless, but rather career criminals looking for easy street. Well, now they've met their match.
I'd say, anti-squatter activist, squatter hunter, squatter remover. Just do what I have to help people get their squatters out.
Some people might call you a type of exterminator.
Yeah, well.
57-year-old California native Flash Shelton is devoting his life to squashing squatters and helping homeowners. It all started in 2019 when his mother was selling her Northern California house after his father died. While the home was empty and on the market, 7 strangers moved in, furniture and all. Local law enforcement said there was nothing they could do. That's when Flash sprang into action.
The stuff is in the house. You told me that it was accidentally delivered and it was in the garage.
No, I didn't say it was in the garage.
Figured out that
That's just wild,
if they could take a home, I could take a home. Squatters sometimes, in many cases, have a fake lease. So the first thing I did was I had my mom write a lease in my name.
He waited for an open window, no pun intended, when the squatters had left the property.
You know, went in and put up cameras, secured the back door that had been broken into. I have to start putting stuff in the driveway and so that I can lock it up, because once I leave, you're not going to be able to get back in.
Shelton seized an opportunity, found a new calling, and became the squatter hunter. His operation has exploded with viral videos on his website and YouTube channel. The clips receiving millions and millions of views.
You ain't gonna be sneaking up on me in the middle of the night.
She's mad. The
That's
squatter's
Flash
mad.
Shelton's fees start at $5,000.
God
Always
damn!
Works with law enforcement, and he does his homework to assess the threat before moving in. For more information on the squatter hunter and efforts to change squatters' rights laws, go to our website.
Yeah, we know the website.
So there's this law, right, in California, and I sent you a link on this, but I get it. The actual clip was a little bit too long to digest, so we may have to cover the entire clip next week. But basically, in California, you legally have access to the property, and they cannot kick you out through an eviction, unless it's through an eviction. If you do the following: if I go and I squat in your house, and I make sure that either my ID or license has the address of that house. If my license has that same address, now I'm not a squatter. I'm actually a tenant that you cannot kick out, and you have to go through the proper eviction channels, which we all know if it's in California, it's like a year. So if you want free housing for a year, make sure you change your address to whatever property you're about to squat, and you're good. This is not financial advice. Yeah.
What?
Yep. I'm
I did
telling
not
you,
know
man,
this.
these squatters have way too much rights, bro. It's crazy.
Yo, that's what.
There you
That
go.
is how you become a professional squatter, bro.
Water.
Bro, that's wild. I didn't even know that. That makes sense. It's like if you put the address, but that's crazy. You know, you could literally go into Beverly Hills and be like, I like this mansion.
But listen, the link that I sent you, again, we'll probably just discuss this next week because this is a really good video, man. But the link that I sent you, it's a mansion that is 3 houses down from a new construction that LeBron James is having his house built. It's a mansion that this group of squatters, they used to throw parties every weekend, and they cannot be kicked out because one of the squatters has an ID with the address on it. So meanwhile, they are just throwing parties left and right, yo, and they can't do nothing about it.
The house is worth like 30 million too.
Yeah, so the monthly rent is supposed to be 30 grand a month. So yeah.
There you go, guys. Move to Cali, Hollywood.
Nah,
that's wild, bro.
If you want your life to become a movie, yeah, go right ahead because it will become a movie for sure.
It's almost likable because you got the Ghostbuster over here, like the squatter buster. You give him $5 grand, he'll do the job. I swear to God, he needs a white van with like just a squatter and a red X over it, and then the theme song. When you hear something strange in the neighborhood, who you gonna call?
Bro,
he
needs to pop out like with the vacuum shit they use in Ghostbusters.
Yeah. You know, Ghostbusters came out like 2 years, like last year, right? You know?
Yeah, but you know the original, you know. So I don't know.
I thought you gonna touch that.
So I guess my thinking behind this is, why is this not nationwide? Why is the squatter rule not nationwide? Why does it only have to come to Florida right now? Why can't it be like this for every state?
My question is, why is that even allowed? So let's say I go in and break into a Walmart overnight and say I live here now.
Oh no, you're getting kicked out that same night, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, Walmart don't play.
So why on my
Because it's not a residential. First of all, it's not a residential. It's a commercial space. You can't live in a commercial space. So
have you tried?
Have you seen what they do in New York right now for the migrant crisis, where they're converting commercial spaces that are not allowed to be residential?
I don't recommend
it. Convert them as residential. I'm just saying the city will bend their own rules if it meets their agenda.
Yeah, but that's for everything.
There is a building in New York, I forgot the address, where it's actually it was zoned out because of toxic chemicals. Because the person before wanted to convert to residential, and they said no because toxic chemicals in the lake, you can't go near it because they're doing they're cleaning it out. And the city is rehabbing it now for the migrants.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, so there you go.
It's getting sticky. It's getting sticky out in these streets, man.
So back to my Walmart scenario.
Well, Walmart got their own security. Like if a squatter successfully gets into Walmart, he's like the squatter of squatters. He's like the one you have to defeat after you defeated all the other squatters. Like that's the final boss of squatters right there. He squatted Walmart. That shit's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's not going to happen. Like I said, I'm just saying examples. Why is it fine for these people to take your property? Because that's what they're doing. They're literally taking your property. They're stealing from you.
Yeah.
They are literally stealing from you. Even though people say, oh, but they can't take the property because it's tied and it's a building. I can't rent it anymore. Yeah. So you technically stealing from me.
Lost income. Potential vandalism to the place, to the property.
Depreciation because they're destroying 100%. Everything.
Yeah.
Stealing. At the end of the day, they're stealing.
Listen, you know why? I'm going to answer this, right? And we basically have the same conversation every week when it comes to it, and I'm going to say it. They don't give a shit about landlords, bro. That's just what it is. They do not care. They don't give a shit about us, bro.
They made a good point last week why they don't do it.
Say it again?
They made a good point last time we spoke about this why they don't do it.
What did he say?
It doesn't look good for the politician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't want to use state funds. They don't want to use state funds to cover this.
No politician's gonna come out here and be like, yeah, we're gonna start kicking families out of homes. You know, it's a bad look.
Man, I get it, man. I get it, but listen, from a business point of view. From a business point of view, if you're trying to get elected, I guess it makes sense. You want to go with the majority, which a majority of people do not own any homes. They rent. So, I understand it, but I don't agree with it for the simple fact that you're breaking the rules. Like, why the hell do you allow these mom and pops rental owners, landlords, to go through something like this that can potentially put them out of business and bankrupt them? That's crazy.
I heard that the definition, I was reading the article, the definition they're using for mom and pop is any landlord that's 500 units or below. If you have 500 units, bro, you're not mom and pop anymore.
If you got 100 units, you're not mom and pop. Like, oh my God, that's wild. But
it's questionable.
But I think so. Obviously, like other states are going to look at this law. They're going to look at how well this law is going to be implemented into society in Florida. So I think everybody else is looking at it, right? All these other states, they're observing, okay, Florida just passed a bill. They're the guinea pigs. We're going to see how things end up over there, right? They'll probably let it run for like they'll let it run for like a year or two. If there's negative, because again, you don't know all the possible scenarios. There might be something that this law is going to, I don't know, it's going to fuck up something. I don't know. And then now
people with no contract.
Us not knowing, because you're right, we don't know all the variables, but us not knowing all the variables, what can you possibly think is a negative to that?
Evicting somebody or not a tenant because they don't have
no. Let me be very specific. A squatter. Evicting a squatter.
Okay, squatter. All right.
Correct, which is what we're talking about. We're talking about the squatter rule.
Right.
What do you think is a negative for that, Jose? That'll pretty much makes any state look bad. Again, we don't know all the variables. You're right.
Right.
If you have to guess or think of anything, what would be a good guess for you?
Well, we definitely it's going to be an issue where can the squatter provide convincing evidence that maybe he's not a squatter and this is just a landlord being a piece of shit. You know, there's landlords like Bias says there might be landlords that are just gonna be an asshole about it and be like, you know what, this lease is actually not valid.
I didn't sign that. That's not my signature right there.
Yeah, and now the state is kicking out legitimate tenants from their homes.
Okay, all right. So let me throw the curveball.
I can see landlords signing with the opposite hands now, for the signature not look right.
Yeah,
that wasn't me. That's a squatter.
What else could what's another negative side effect?
I don't tell you the truth. Other than that, I don't see no negative because, like before, even if I put cameras on my property,
but let's really think, because I agree with you, Carlos. I don't see the negatives, but let's really think not about tenants that had a lease in place, about legitimate squatters. Hold on, about legitimate squatters. That let's say you just bought a property, right? Let's say you bought a property out of state. You have nobody in there. Hold on. Because you have nobody in there because you intended on renovating it before you rent it out. You're in the process of renovation. The contract is working on it. The contract is just finished, but you haven't rented it out yet. Now, all of a sudden, a squatter goes in your property. Let's think about that scenario. What can be the negative outcome of having that law passed for that scenario?
The only negative outcome is the squatter, not the owner. That law is perfect for the owner because before, even if you had cameras on the property and the squatter got in, you had to do the eviction process to get them out, even though you have fucking proof that they
No. We know the benefits of it, but really think, and let's try to play devil's advocate here. Let's really think, what could be the negative implications of a state passing that law?
The only negative,
and again, I just want to make sure that anybody that's watching, I'm not referring to people that have a lease already in place. I'm referring to legitimate squatters.
The negative can only be if they use the scenario I created earlier. Other than that, there's no negative because they're trespassing. They're breaking the law.
What do you think?
Point blank.
I get it. Carlos is very adamant about not being negative. And I agree with him, but he's missing the point. I really want you to think about something that could be negative. I don't think there is, but what do you think?
I can't find any.
I think you don't know the things that you don't know. Correct. So we're only thinking of the things we do know, and then we're thinking, okay, it'll still work out. But there's variables that we just don't know that we don't know. That being said,
you don't know.
You need to edit that. When you edit the video, if you ever edit this video, you better put a funny meme on that section because you do that.
You can't edit bro.
Anything.
You can't edit.
And I think this is just going to be a scenario where Florida's just going to be a guinea pig. But it brings up the question: why did squatters have rights to begin with? There must have been a valid reason why squatters had rights, and we have to examine, because maybe there was a valid reason why squatters needed these rights to begin with. And then if we take that away, those problems come back.
But okay, let me give you a little scenario. You just said there had to be a legitimate reason for a squatter to have rights. Now let's flip it. Instead of a house, it's a car. Do you think it's okay for anybody to just go and sleep in your car? What could be the outcome or the possibility to make that a right thing to do?
I've seen a video about this. This Dominican guy was making fun on Columbus Day. He's like, I discovered this car. Let's say somebody discovered your car, Jose.
What is a good scenario for that to happen? At the end of the day, it's private property, bro.
It's completely different because you don't.
What do you mean?
You don't live in cars. That's not legitimate. That's not a legitimate argument, though.
Based on the video we did 3 weeks ago, there was a guy living in his van. Stop.
Oh, okay. Yes,
about
but
the
you
other
don't
guy that
rent
was
out vans though.
how about Pimp Juice here?
Wait, hold on.
How about Pimp Juice?
Have you been on the Airbnb website? You can rent out
No,
vans.
I did
Just
not know
Google it.
this.
Yes, you
Yeah, you
can.
can mobile homes.
It's an actual home now.
Jose. How about Jose? How about Pimp Juice guy that said that he's living in his car and he can't pay his PS2? The guy's living in the car.
That's what I'm saying.
Man.
Listen,
There's got to be a.
It doesn't matter if you can live in it or not. It's your property, man. There should be no valid reason why anybody else should have access to your property illegally.
You imagine, Carlos. You imagine this. You know how on section the projects, there's not that many in math, like in New York, where they're moving somebody and it's empty. Somebody just moves in squads for on the government property.
No, yeah, it's the same thing. But if it happens to the government, you'll be out on the same day, man.
Yeah, you see?
That's the difference.
It just makes me super curious as to why they had rights. It's almost so obvious. It's an obvious, like, yeah, you shouldn't allow people to just randomly break into a home and just let them live there, right? That's super obvious. But it begs the question, why
There's a reason why.
Why?
There's a reason why.
Why?
Pre-2020.
Just came up with that right now.
I'm gonna tell you shit right now. Pre the situation between 2020, I don't want to say it, 2020 and 2022. The Rona. Pre that, you can call the police and they will take the squatters out.
Okay.
When the vid came in, they said because of safety. Remember, because of social distancing, they allow squatters to stay in these empty units.
So listen. You have a point, but no, that just amplified.
That was the majority, Carlos.
Listen to what I gotta say. That just amplified what was already in place. But squatters had rights.
Yeah, no, they didn't. Before, they used to break in and steal people's copper piping, not to stay there. They started doing that after vid.
Okay, so you're telling me that before the Rona happened, no one ever in the history of real estate had broken in to live there.
No, it was done obviously.
Exactly.
They were out much quicker. They were out much quicker because before you can call the police.
Yes, but the term squatter rights has been around before Rona. Is what I'm saying.
No, I think it was added more during Rona.
Whether it was added more, that's fine, but it was still pre-Rona. Is what me and Jose are saying.
The issue is that shit's gone either way. That shit's done. The Rona side. Why is it still there?
Yo,
why do you have to pass a bill to remove trespassers from your property?
No, yeah.
I think you guys might be right. So Baez, I think you're right. Like they added additional protective rights to the squatters because of the Corona situation. They just wanted to keep it, which makes sense why they increase the safety of that. But then again, like there were laws beforehand, but squatting wasn't as prevalent as it is today, and that makes you wonder, like maybe squatters or people just weren't desperate enough. I think that's what it is. I think people weren't desperate enough to do squatting because housing was affordable for a very long ass time. Even before the housing market crashed in 2008, before 2008, you had ninja loans. You didn't even need a job. You could literally just buy a house. So squatting,
you didn't even need down payment.
Yeah. So think about it. There was very lax laws for squatters, protected squatters, but it wasn't to the point where people were like, "Oh, let's take advantage of these squatter rights." I think it's only now where housing is it's very difficult to buy a house, and rent is so high that now people are more enticed. There's more incentive to be a squatter, and I think that's why we're seeing much more squatters than before.
Yes, but I just pulled up. Squatter rights has been around since the 1700s.
But how strong were those rights? How strong were those rights?
I mean,
it's like, Carlos, I think the rights for the squatting you're talking about, it's an abandoned home. No, let me say, it's an abandoned home. There's a right in the United States. There's a law in the United States that say if you go into an abandoned home for 5 years,
no. Can I talk? This specifically says private property.
Okay, can I talk?
Yeah.
If you was to go into an abandoned home for 5 years, pay the property tax of that abandoned home, and the water, you can take ownership of that property in 5 years.
All right.
That's the squatting laws you're looking at.
How do you know?
The one they have now is these people are getting there, and within a week you can't get them out.
I think if I were to
years,
if I were to if I were to take an educated guess on as to why there were even squatter rights back in the day for 400 years, is because maybe there was this idea that people shouldn't own property that they weren't going to use. You know,
even though they paid for it, that's crazy.
No,
yeah, even though they pay for it, which is understandable. Like, look, I don't give a shit if I use it or not; it's still mine. But back in the day, they were probably thinking, if you're not going to use it, if literally you're not going to use it, let someone else take over it.
Jose, it can be more granular than that. It can be all right. Back in the day, you die easier of disease because it's not modern medicine. And I passed away, and then I didn't leave this property to no descendants because I may not have no descendants.
And now it's in
that's
limbo.
one way of taking ownership to somebody else.
I'm not gonna say that I agree with, but I understand if a person has been in a property, let's just say for 10 plus years, and they're actually paying their property taxes. Cool. I understand that. I can, have empathy for people like that. Now, but if you're just literally jumping in the house and just living there, like not even paying property,
throwing parties.
Yeah, like I don't agree with that. And the fact that they have rights, that's crazy to me, man.
Bro, it's like the grass hopping. You heard of grass hopping? So grass hopping is
here we go.
If I own this property, right? And I
every
put my fence
week, bro.
Hey,
every listen, for you guys that are trying to question what's going on here, this guy every week he wants to drag the episodes by bringing in a completely different story that no one has any idea what the hell is going on.
Can you shut up?
What's grass hopping, bro? What is grass hopping?
Grass hopping is if I own this property and I put my fence on my neighbor's property and I'm able to hold that fence up on his property for 20 years, I can take ownership of that property. Yeah, it doesn't get deeded to me. It doesn't get deeded to me. What happens is I have control over that section of property. He can't take it back.
Okay, you didn't go too left field with this one.
No, the same thing with the laws with the why you saying, oh, why these squatters have laws? Sometimes it's if you can hold that you're paying all the bills, taxes, and blah blah for 5 years. I think it's 5 years. I have to look it up. Don't call me. You can take ownership of that property.
Yeah. I think yeah, man, that's tough. That's tough, because you're paying taxes on property that now you don't even own anymore. I think I've heard
on the new squatters, yeah, on the modern squatters.
That's pretty grass hopping. That's very interesting. My mother bought a piece of land that was next to her house and she wanted to extend her backyard. And then she's been paying property taxes on that for 20 years. And then the neighbor bought a house right next door. And then when they were doing some surveying, the survey fucked up and thought that the land that my mom was paying was actually the neighbors. And then she knocked on my mom's house and was like, hey, that's my land. You need to take that shit off. And then my mom was like, yo, you fucking thought, bitch. Like, what the fuck? And then she busted out with 10 years worth of taxes. Like, you better talk to your surveyor and come correct, yo, because that's my property.
Your mom's gangster for that one, yo.
Yo, she came out with receipts. She was like, I've been paying for this for 20 years, bro. Get out of here.
And the fact that she had all the receipts, she knew exactly what she was doing.
And then the woman had the audacity to be like, oh, and on top of that, I want you to pay half for the surveyor I had to do. It was like, what? Oh, you tripping balls, son?
That was like when Mexico got asked to pay for the border wall. What?
Nah. But back to squatting. I mean, damn. Okay, I think because of the state of renting and housing, it has amplified the incentive to be a squatter. Squatters have identified a loophole, have identified this weak point in the system where they are virtually untouchable for a very prolonged amount of time. And when people see an advantage, they take that shit and they run with it. And then there's a herd mentality, very large herd mentality that and now we're reacting, the government is slowly reacting. It's almost like an immune system. It's like, okay, this is getting out of hand. We're going to have to pass some like better bills, because this is getting crazy. Who's gonna be next? The governor of Washington can't get into his house because there's a squatter. The president of the United States can't go to the White House because there's a bunch of squatters. Like, what the hell, bro? Where does it end? So,
do you guys think the Florida law passed faster than most states because they foresee a major crash happening? Because there's a major crash coming in. It's not going to be major, but they foresee accumulation of inventory is happening in Florida right now, where there's too much inventory and not enough buyers closing. So they're foreseeing a mini crash happening here, and they put this law in effect because they know there's going to be a lot of vacant buildings in the area.
Actually, that's a good point. If there's a lot of vacant bills, then it'll amplify that issue a lot more.
And even there's a lot of Airbnbs here, which sometimes they're empty when they don't have a guest.
Yeah.
You know what to have the problem with the word crash? You don't you don't really see a crash. Like, you don't step into a car or drive a car and be like, yeah, I'm gonna have a crash today. You know, if everybody around you knows there's gonna be a crash, there's probably not gonna be a crash.
Yeah.
Because everybody is going to prevent
that.
Like there might be a pullback. You know, probably. You know, there might be a pullback.
Let me use this trading term that Carlos uses: a correction.
No, I use it. No. I use a retracement. That's what I use.
A retracement, yeah, because you do
now. But again, people keep thinking that. Oh my God! Listen, we've been calling it. Well, not us. Other people.
I buy regardless.
I've listen. The minute people started saying crash, like 4 years ago, I said, okay, this is a really good time to buy right now. Yeah. I'm buying right now.
I don't buy guessing.
Listen. For the last 4 years, people have been calling crashes every day. Every single day. If you go by that, you're never going to buy anything.
My issue.
I always say, if the numbers work, you invest. Screw what anybody else say. If the numbers work for you, you invest now, you invest later, you invest at all times. At all time is a perfect time to buy real estate as long as the numbers work. Forget the crash, because the crash never comes when you have the money. And when you don't have the money, the crash is always there. So
my thing now is the only unknown we have now is the interest rate scenario that's pricing people out. Which we didn't have that issue before.
The race is not even a big deal, man. People
the rates are a big deal. This is the issue. If you have a regular family that's trying to buy a single family house, which is the market that most of the market here, and their mortgage, if their rates would have been
I get that.
$100, the rates is fucking $2,500. They're outpriced.
I get that.
Just because the rates.
Yes, I get that. So in that scenario, if you're gonna make all right, I should have probably.
I'm not talking about investors. I'm talking about regular people.
I should have probably clarified it. As an investment, the rates don't matter. Yes, I agree. As a primary residence, yes, the rates do matter. Hold on, Carlos. As a primary residence, the rates do matter because it's going to affect the ability to buy the house that you actually want. The last thing you want is to get into a house that you don't even like just because you can afford it. You don't want that. So if you really want that dream house, wait for the rates to be in your favor. If it's a primary residence, if it's an investment, you can get whatever rate.
Now let me give y'all a thought that I just had, because because Baez, you said
like a second ago.
Yeah, because Baez, you said, oh, do you think that they're introducing this bill because they anticipate a housing crash? And it just got me thinking. It's like, no, then they wouldn't introduce this bill because they think there's a crash that's going to happen. If anything, they would introduce this bill because they think that the prices of these homes is going to skyrocket, and they want to maintain ownership of this real estate, because the last thing you want is the housing market to blow up and you got your
people have ownership.
Exactly.
Wait. Or you can have the reverse effect.
That's good.
The reverse effect. You buy a house for $500,000, it goes down to $2. Wait, Jose, you buy a house for $500,000. The average income.
We've been talking about the reverse effect for the past 30 minutes.
The reverse, it doesn't. It crashes.
No, let me say something. The average income in Florida is $70,000. The average single family Florida is $400,000. To qualify for a $400,000 house now in Florida is around 100. You said last week is $113,000.
Yeah.
That was the nation's average. But the average income in Florida is $70,000. 50 to 70 actually. And you can look that shit up right now.
He wants to make sure that you really know that.
You can look that shit up right now. It's
Okay. Yeah, we get it, bro.
The average.
I understand.
How about average? Obviously, you have really, really rich people in Miami, and then you have really poor people in Los Campos. So if you buy a property for $500,000 and it goes down to $200,000 in value, and you lose your job and you decide to move out of state, what are you gonna do with that property? You're gonna leave it empty.
I agree with that. I don't really have a rebuttal to that, but yeah.
The reverse can happen, guys. A lot of inventory. There's 128,000 listings right now in Florida.
Yeah, but listen. A lot of people, and somebody on this call included, right? They tend to panic every now and then, right?
I am conservative.
We can't do this. We can't do that.
I am conservative.
Listen,
Chicken Little.
But if it wasn't for the other partner who puts them in place every now and then, I'm like, yo, listen, we gotta take a risk, bro.
I looked up the salary. It's even worse. 48,000 to 57,000.
Yeah, but listen, this is why I don't really go by numbers. Like, listen, but let's not. You can't go by those numbers. If you are really specific about those numbers, you will never be able to afford anything. Point blank.
No,
everybody has a different scenario. So I don't want to scare people away with having these calls about not buying property. So let's just make sure that we do that very clear. You know, you got to run. Everybody has different numbers. Everybody has a different situation. And what is this?
This is the average housing price by state.
505,000.
Who drew that?
I found it. I actually because I found it when I was
higher. Bro,
500K.
Mass is 585.
Wait. What's Massachusetts?
585. No, 595.
This is how you know.
We're right next to it.
This is how you know that this map is incorrect.
But you know what?
The average. This is average prices. Average.
Oh, the average is pretty higher though. A lot higher than that.
No, not Mass. Because Mass is very centralized in Boston, where you have really high prices. But once you go to the burbs and you leave the inner city, fucking shit goes to cheap. Go to Taunton and Fall River.
Yeah,
it goes to cheap really fast.
Yeah, if you're thinking about the entirety of Massachusetts, we're talking about bumfuck Massachusetts.
You're talking about fucking Springfield.
Yeah.
Yo, 595.
I always forget that those cities belong to Mass. Yeah.
But you know what? The average income for Mass is 110,000 versus Florida, which is 505 and has an average of 48 to 57,000.
Yeah. Florida is at 505.
Yeah, and that's 100.
Not for now. But Texas looks very attractive right now. Look at that.
It does. 90,000 difference, right? And the average income in Florida is 40,000 less than Mass. 40 to 50,000.
This is what happens.
I'm just saying.
But this is what happens, right? When people realize, damn, I only have one life, and I'm literally living in a state where I can't even go out half the year. So let me move down south where I can get a lot more for my money. So when people do that, this is what happens to the prices. They skyrocket. Nothing you can do about it.
I think Julio made a good decision by going to Texas. Fucking 336,000. We should start investing there.
I guess, but it depends when you come in. I mean, honestly, I got in a good time. People, I know people that got in a good time as well.
How the fuck Texas 336,000? They're expanding as fast as Florida.
But it's big. Texas is huge.
Yeah, they have a lot of empty spots.
We can fit like 5 Florida. We can fit like 10 Florida inside Texas.
Is huge, and then you got to think about like, okay, the reason why like let's say if New York is so expensive, New England for the most part is very expensive, is because you can literally step outside your house and go to a Walmart. It's like 5 minutes away. You know what I'm saying? So like there's a lot of convenience that surrounds like a lot of these places. So you got to pay a lot for that convenience. And then there's just some places like Texas where it's just like you got to drive 50 miles to the next Walmart.
Hey, Carlos.
Well, it depends where. Because if you live in Houston, then you're pretty close to everything.
Yeah. Dallas. Hey, Carlos. Rhode Island is fucking 455.
455. That I believe it, yo.
That's Rhode Island.
I hope it goes higher. I got something I got to get rid of over there.
I think you have you guys Yeah, have you guys heard of like what's it called? Commuters. There's a new term for like super commuting. There it is. Super commuters.
Oh, people take fucking flights. I heard that, and they do that in California in the schools.
There are super
Wait.
commuters now.
So what is that? What is that? That you go from state to state to get a job?
You take a flight to go to work.
That is what?
Yeah.
Yes. The one example I've seen was in California, where he lived at a cheap ass place.
I have a question though. There's no way that this is gonna be like a regular paying job, right? If you're taking a flight, it's because you're probably getting paid double what you will get.
No, what happened, Carlos? You have a situation like San Francisco where the average salary you're looking at probably like 150 grand, and you can be living in a town where the average salary is 60, and it's way cheaper to live in this town. So you take a flight to San Francisco if it's close enough. Am I correct, Jose?
Yeah, you're very correct. I'm gonna post something. Hold up, real quick. Give it a
Just how unaffordable Vancouver has become. A university student is commuting to his classes from Calgary. As Abigail Turner reports, the flights make financial sense in the region's out-of-control rental market.
Commuting to class looks different for Tim Chen, who doesn't board a bus, but a plane to get to university. The arts student flies twice a week from Calgary to Vancouver, saving big bucks on rent.
I need to pay like $2,500 for the rent. I don't feel that is like, viable.
He pays roughly $150 per round-trip flight twice a week, about $1,200 per month total. That's half the average rent for a one-bedroom in the city.
I thought, why don't I just stay at Calgary and then just fly here? Like, one.
Look, yeah, that's such a ridiculous. I've heard enough. Like that's such a ridiculous.
that kid better have either an Amex Platinum card or a Venture X card, one of those flight cards. He has to have one of those cards obligado, because if he's not, he's stupid.
He got to take advantage of that. But this is why squatters are starting to just pop up. They're like, yo, this is crazy right now that people are actually, you got a kid, he's starting the trend. I'm taking flights just to go to school because rent is so crazy. It's cheaper just to take a flight twice a week. It's cheaper to take a flight twice a week, bro. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's crazy, bro.
There you go.
That's bananas. Oh man.
Listen. I recommend everybody here that's watching, that's gonna watch, check out our latest reaction video, right? We talk about how it's gotten so bad that now we recommend eating cereal for dinner. So yeah, I understand what's going on. Trust me, I know.
Yes.
It sucks.
It's putting pressure on people to take drastic measures, and that's why squatting is out of control, bro. Squatting's out of control, and it's a side effect of the housing market. To be honest, it's just that's what it is. What it is, man.
Somebody in Facebook just posted being a deadbeat is more acceptable nowadays.
Oh wow.
Pretty. I mean,
they're both bad. I guess.
I don't think they see it as deadbeat. I think they see it as like, yo, if you can take advantage of the system, you look cooler. It's kind of like you
right?
It's like you're Trump, you're Donald Trump. You're just like, yo, you're beating the system. If you found a loophole in the system, that's what's up. Like, take advantage of it. That's
like, yo, put me on.
Jose, will you agree, Carlos, that most people right now they focus their finances on buying bullshit instead of the responsibilities? Fuck it, I'm gonna buy the latest fucking PS6 and all these fucking games and shit. Whatever, I'm not gonna pay my rent. It's gonna take these people 8 months to get me out regardless.
I will say this. I saw a post just today by one of my good friends. And it basically went like this. People care too much right now about the interest rate when it comes to real estate, about the 6% interest rate, but they don't care to be paying 23% for a credit card or not, or 12% for a car loan. It's about priorities. It's about priorities, and that's what happens, So deal with it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, but there's a lifestyle creep that comes into play, right? If you're living a certain lifestyle, right? Let's say you're making 100 grand, you're living the life of 100 grand. Now you're thinking, oh, now I can afford more stuff, right? I can afford more stuff. But the problem is that once you get a taste of that good life, you don't want to go back down, right? So other things get introduced into your life that you can't, you can't control. You get kids, someone gets sick, unexpected bill comes up, IRS. Next thing you know, you're playing catch up, and that's where we get these. That's where we get a lot of these six-figure income earners living
70%.
paycheck to paycheck.
70% of them.
Yeah, man, because they're trying to play catch up. They don't want to sort of admit defeat or forfeit any part of their lifestyle to fix their finances. They rather just put it on the card.
They did statistics on people's financing, asking them, "Hey, if you was to have a random bill of $500, will you be able to afford it?" And I think it was like a highest number, like 80% said no, that they would not be able to.
That's pretty crazy.
Fucking $500, guys.
Yeah,
Less than a PS5. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, and it makes you wonder. Like a lot of these squatters, obviously. Do you think like these squatters have real jobs? Do you think like there's a guy out there, he goes to his 9 to 5, he makes good money, and then he goes to this house that he's squatting?
Yeah, I mean, in some cases, yeah.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Majority, right? You're talking about majority.
Majority.
Oh no. The majority probably, just they're probably not even working.
I think I believe too much of humankind, but I think these people are probably struggling.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of homeless people that were already homeless, a lot, probably maybe drug addicts and stuff like that. Yeah. So I think
mental illness.
Yeah, if the government in Florida can spin a good light, where not a good light, but it can spin it where it's like, look, we're just kicking bums or like legitimately bad people out of good people's homes, then maybe they can keep running with their shit.
It is never so cut and dry.
Because if there's a squatter and they have kids, complicates the situation a little bit.
Or mental illness.
Or
it's bad. It happens, guys. Even drug addicts tend to know to have mental illness.
Yeah,
they have an addictive mindset. People say, "Oh, they're addicted to drugs. They're drug addict." You can get addicted to soda.
Listen.
Being addicted to anything, it can be a problem.
If you want to be a drug addict, that's fine. Just take it outside, man. That's it. I don't give a shit. Take it outside. Not in my house.
Yeah. Nah, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's great. I think it's great that Florida is taking the lead, on this squatting epidemic that's happening right now. I understand that the squatting is, I'm now convinced the squatting is just the result of people feeling the pressure all over the place. Yeah. I mean, I don't blame y'all. Yeah, I probably do what I would do, what I would have to do to keep surviving, and these loopholes allow shit to happen. But now it seems like the immune system of the government's kicking in. Florida is the first one. Next thing you know, it's going to be a wave. There's going to be a wave of petitions all over the United States. All over the United States.
It gets sued, and it goes to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court says it's fine, and now that's law all over.
Well, okay, Debbie Downer over here.
Every time, man. It never fails. Oh my God.
I honestly,
this bill will be sued, and I can guarantee it.
It will be tested. It will be stress tested.
It's going to be tested.
Yeah,
but the good thing is,
let's not think of negative thoughts, bro.
Every bill gets stress tested. Every bill, Roe versus Wade, all these bills get stress tested. And if the bill wins, it strengthens the legitimacy of having this bill.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what it does. Because if you can strengthen it,
moratorium, it's only be 6 months. Fucking shit lasted like a year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We're definitely going to see a lot of people suing the shit out of this bill. And you know what? All we need is just one win. And then all of them are just thrown out. Oh, no, look at this one. Look at the one we won. Don't even think you can win this shit. This already been tried. That's what happens. That's what happens.
That's how laws are made.
What happens is it sets the standard.
Yep.
Laws are made through enforcement. That's why every case, when you go to court, they look for a case that happened before that was similar and say, "Oh, look at the
yeah,
the proof."
Yep. It's already been tested, bro. Don't
all we need is one.
Just one.
Exactly. So
in federal court.
Yeah, I mean, luckily it hasn't been an issue too much in the cold states, but it seems like it's a big issue in California, you know, and in Florida. So I guess we'll see.
Wonder, Jose, all those
Yeah.
houses were $30 million houses, the one I see that pop up on the news.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Yeah, obviously once it starts hitting the rich, you know the rich ain't gonna shut up. They're gonna be like, yo,
I haven't seen no
what's up,
news that shit. I haven't seen no news of that shit hitting like the hood.
right. Yeah. This was hitting mom and pops, but now when it's hitting Donald Trump's family, LeBron's
now we got an issue. Now we got an issue.
Now we got an issue. Hold up. We gotta take care of this. All right. Because Malibu is turning into Maliboom Boom and all this other shit, yo.
Malibu.
Malabum. Yeah, for real, yo. So yeah, let us know what y'all think about this new bill. Y'all think we should cut, you know, squatters some more slack? Because I don't think I think they got enough slack as it is. So
yeah,
I think this bill is a good introduction to a new wave of, you know, owning your own shit.
Yeah.
So let us know what y'all think. Drop a comment, like this fucking live, help us out. Know what I mean, we're out here. Subscribe, check out some other videos we got posted up, and have a happy weekend, fellas. We'll be back in the man cave next time. We out.
We out.
Peace.